right, so this is the cheapest Amazon motorized desk I could find, and it's got some really cool features. So stay tuned, watch the full video, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So some of the criteria I was looking for is most desks come with a complete slab, if you will, of wood. This one is broken into 4 parts, which actually makes it actually shows up in a much smaller box than you would ever imagine for a desk like this. There is a larger size. I'll give you the measurements. Well, let's take a peek of the magic underneath and how it's done. So what they do is supply you with brackets that hold the pieces together. And it's not, doesn't get loose. It's nicely done. And I also, there's the other bracket. There's 2 there. There's 2 triangle-shaped ones in the middle. And then you've got 2 in the front. What's really nice, too, that I liked about it is it has this kind of 2-tone look. It also comes in a rustic wood. I just thought the rustic wood, when you're sitting at the desk and you're working, I don't know, to me, I was thinking it might be a little too distracting, where I find this very zen, office-y, without it looking too, I don't know, boring or whatever. The assembly is very easy. I didn't even film it because it's super easy. Oh yeah, these cables over here, that's just a hook. You can actually put, if you have a headset, I just have some loose cables. This is not like that's a part of the install. This is the power, or the controller, if you will. It's connected here. And then it gives you some connectors that it comes with, or what do you call these, like zip tie things that aren't permanent. You can kind of loosen them up. It's got is this, kind of gather the cables together, which is kind of nice. I was on the fence of whether or not I wanted that, because you're like, well, it could just hang over the side versus going through here. So why would you need this little circle thingy? Well, here, this comes out actually. But I like it, and it kind of helps keep the cables up higher. So again, as it's rising, those kind of make sure that everything's grouped nicely. And then I've kind of bundled them, bundled them together there. This is metal. These are metal feet here, both sides. This is metal. It's supported by 2 metal cross beams, and the motor is very quiet. I'll show you, my daughter's got a different motorized desk, and I find hers is still pretty loud in comparison. And this is the junction here. So this cranks up, motor turns and cranks this up. And then let's go ahead and do the demo. All right, here's the control. You have 4 memory buttons, and you have a manual up down. So the first time you push it, you'll hear an audible beep. Okay, that's where it's currently at. If I push this one, it's gonna be quiet. There you go. So this is when I stand, I'm in meetings. Most of the time when I'm in meetings, I'll rise it up just because it's a nice break. If I'm doing heavy work and typing, I don't know about you guys, but I find sitting, I concentrate better. So, but it is nice to have a break, and I do have a lot of meetings, as most of us do nowadays. So this part is quite nice, and then you can manually adjust it up or down. Let's take it to its max height. Oh, and you'll see the cables. Okay, so yeah, I usually don't even have it go that high. So it's 116, you can see that there. So I'll give you the measurements here shortly. Let's go back, and then when you lower it, we'll put it back to where my sitting desk range is, and I'll give you that's obviously the max. We'll go down to 72, which is usually my sitting position. But it's got a nice, consistent Zen moment. So even if you're on the phone or you're in a meeting, it's not distracting. There you go. Perfect. Now, Here's an office chair. Let's see if you have a chair next to it. And I have it to where it can go in just like that. That's usually where I like to keep mine. But that's it, I really like it. The only things, so let's go through the things I don't like. Well, you know, you can complain about everything, but the only things that I don't like is it will show fingerprints quite easily. It does kind of remind you. So if I do this, well, hey, clean hands right now. But at some point, it starts to get a little fingerprinty, kind of reminding you of when that you should be cleaning it. The other thing is, you'll notice, as this goes into sleep mode, the audible beep is quite piercing. So if somebody's sleeping or in the room nearby, or even if you're on a call and you're trying to raise or lower the desk, you're going to hear it. See, that wants to wake it up, that sharp beep sound, and I haven't found any way to turn this off. So, and then every time you push the button. This part lights up though, that is kind of nice. And I'm sure inside here, if I really messed around with it, I could find that audio beep sound and just disable it or clip it or something. But oh well, you know, it's not that bad. But that's it. The fingerprints, the beep sound, and then because it's black down here, it will show, if you have a Chihuahua like we do, there's a Chihuahua hair right there. So, you know, as with most things, it reminds you that you need to dust or clean. So maybe depending on how you look at it, it's like an indicator, free indicator. But that's it. For $225? There's two different sizes. This is the smallest size. So for me, again, with what I need on my desk, this was perfect. I didn't want anything that took up a lot of the room. We'll just kind of back up here a bit and show you. The other one I measured, and because of this wall where I was putting it, it really would have been hanging past, which would have been strange. I do find, so even if I had two monitors, I could have two monitors on the laptop or some variation thereof. But hope this helps you. It's on Amazon. I'll leave the link. Really cool desk. And I can easily break it down and transport it again very small. These legs come fully assembled. The only thing I had to do was really run the wires, screw in some of these things. And the other thing I would just tell you really quick is all of the holes underneath were pre-drilled and pre-mounted. I mean, you know, like these have metal sinks in them, if you will. So if I undo this and transport it, it can easily go back and forth, you know, hundreds of thousands of times or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's got metal receptacle. This thing there were pre-drilled spot holes, but this thing you would not take apart every time. And then what you do is you would just unplug it right there, and you would just have that piece separate. So again, super easy to take apart and reassemble for transporting. And just in contrast, I'll show you my daughter's table, and hers not only is heavier, it's louder and more difficult to transport, and did not have pre-drilled holes. Online too, it's called the flexispot. Very similar design. I will say this, it is really heavy. There's something about these I think you could stand 500 pounds on, but very large. And this is a solid piece, the entire thing. So if you want to move this desk, you have to unscrew it, and they're not pre-drilled. I mean, it just showed up kind of like guesswork. So that was a bit of a disappointment. And then this one, if you push, let's see, she's got like two. Yeah, there, that woke that up. Yeah. See? It's got a weird sound to it. Well, was it the way you installed it? Oh, it looks like it's clicking on that thing. But it's, I mean, that's where that's supposed to be per the directions, but I do find it's not the best. Yeah, that's what that is. Maybe we can remove that. But hers, and see, it had some pre-drilled holes, which really, were on both sides, but then the rest of it isn't. So you have to kind of guess where to put the table. It was really strange, very disappointing. So, I mean, you know, depending on what you like, I'm gonna lower that down. Just gives you another table to consider if that's what you like. It's a good looking table. I'm just not a fan of the design. At least that thing doesn't beep. That's a good thing. And she's got a white base. All right, hope this helps. Y'all take care, be safe. Bye.